Here we go. Thank you all for joining me on this beautiful Friday. And as I said, if we have some more folks, I'll just let them in. But thank you for being here. If you are watching the replay, hello to you as well. That said, before anybody can ask, as a reminder, I will be sending out an email after this once it converts and does what it needs to do. So I'll include the replay link. I'm going to include a tool, a resource that I'll be showing today if anybody wants that. And I will also include a link to another masterclass before I forget that I'm going to be doing on, what is it? May 27th. I believe that's a Wednesday, May 27th. I'll get you all the details. Don't worry about it. But it's going to be called the Activation Code, Leading Agents from Belief to Results. So how do we engage? How do we really get down to the root of things to make sure that they're engaging, they're implementing what we're teaching them, the way we're leading them, and we got to know what makes them tick. So it's going to be a good class if anybody wants to come back for that. All right. So with that being said, let me share my screen and we are going to roll here. Okay. Quick little thumbs up. Can you see my screen now? I can't see everybody. Yeah, okay, beautiful. Thank you. And by the way, this can be participatory, or if you want to, I'll try and leave some time at the end for any questions. You guys feel free to interrupt me, though, along the way. The way I present, I like to be conversational. You can interrupt me, and it's not rude. So let's just put that out there. That said, we are here to talk about recruiting, and I just put the title on the class called "How to Be a Rockstar Recruiter." Really, though, it's about the five-step system for explosive growth. This is the uncomfortable slide because nobody likes to talk about themselves, do they? But I'll just leave this up here and kind of just speak off the cuff that what I'm going to be sharing today is not theory. It's not anything like that. It's literally the exact system when I was a Keller Williams team leader that I used for recruiting. And some of you know or came from that world are with Keller Williams right now that are on here today know that the standard is the 2-10-40, right? 2 appointments a day, 10 appointments a week, 40 appointments a month. And if you don't, your job's on the line. So that was the life I chose to live for several years and did it successfully. But it's not just about getting the appointments. Anybody with focus can do that. You got to convert those appointments. You got to know who's the right people, the wrong people. It became a selection process for me, and that's how I like to see it. Um, so my final year of being a team leader for that company, I achieved a 2.5 to 1 conversion rate, otherwise known as 40%. That was pretty darn good. The standard was 4 to 1. For every 4 appointments you go on, you hire one. We were at a 2.5 to 1. And that led the Carolinas region, again, my final year being a team leader. So why am I sharing this? It's not to brag, it's to show proof that what I'm getting ready to share with you today works. In fact, I know it works because we teach it to the broker owners and team leaders that we work with at Locker Room. And last year, everybody submitted their numbers every month, how many appointments, how many new hires. You all, some of you achieved 44% better than, right? It's 44%. That was an unbelievable statistic by implementing the same thing again that we're going to talk about today. Humble brag, did write a book about it. Some of you have this book, Attract, Recruit, Lead. And this plus so much more is in that book. If anybody wants it, glad to hook you up. So enough of the shameless promo. Let's roll because that's not why you're here today. You're here to learn and hopefully implement. So I'm going to take you back over the years of observations. You guys correct me if I'm wrong here, but I've done focus groups. I've done literally just interviews. Of course, I've coached, consulted with many of you and many of not here. And I've concluded that there's three pretty common challenges when it comes to recruiting, right? One, leaders don't know or can't at least articulate what their unique value proposition is. Underscore unique. And no offense if I offend you, I don't mean to, but upon interviewing, upon working, and just frankly, look at your news feeds, a lot of people recruit or use the bait of caps, low splits, low fees, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing unique about that, is there? I mean, I could start a real estate company today and carbon copy your split, your fees, your rev share, your profit share. There's nothing unique about that value proposition. Now, I am not underemphasizing necessarily that it's a consideration. Yes, I understand it is a consideration as to why agents may seek to join you, but is that really unique? Is that really it? Is that the only reason we would want to hire somebody? I think the leaders that I know of on this call, the answer is probably not. Yes, you should be competitive. Don't get me started on that, but it's not unique. That's the point. Number two, an embarrassing amount of leaders that I get to work with don't have any clue of what their ideal agent avatar is because they're not willing to slow down to speed up. If you cannot define and articulate who your ideal agent is, how will you ever know when they're standing right in front of you? Just like your significant other. You probably had to date a lot of people, get to know a lot of people, right? To figure out the qualities you do want and also the qualities you don't want. That's where the appointments come in. Okay. But can you articulate who your ideal agent is, or are you just hiring anybody with a pulse that comes your way? And thirdly, leaders don't have a system. That is the heavy emphasis on today that I'm going to share with you. It's actually maybe surprising, kind of like sales 101 system, but we will spend a majority of our time talking about the system. It's not necessarily I don't have the right scripts. I'm not putting on enough events, right? A lot of you are grabbing at the wrong straws here. Do you have an actual system for recruiting? All right. So let's talk about it. Let's get real. You guys share with me real quick. Just unmute yourselves, put it in the chat. It's okay to be vulnerable here. What gets in the way of recruiting? What's holding you back? And if it's not you, just take a stab at the industry at large, why so many leaders avoid this topic, just like your agents are avoiding lead generation. Why? Why do we think?
A lot of people, Jake, will say the same thing that an agent will say, right? I don't want to sound salesy,
Mm,
right? So, there's
yep,
there's the buzzwords around our industry of I would rather figure out an attraction method
that's
than
right.
a recruiting system, right? Because it sounds better, it makes people feel better. Well, you can change the words all you want if you don't figure out the intentional play around it, it doesn't matter.
That's it. It's just like you're my brother from another. That's literally almost verbatim what I say and am going to hit on today. Absolutely agreed. Why else? Sandy says just need to be more consistent. Brian, wearing too many hats. These are real things. I get it. I'm not here to shame anybody. I likely don't spend enough time at in-person realtor events. Fair enough.
Yeah. Um, just starting out, I don't have uh anyone on my team. I'm solo.
Yep.
So, yep.
So uh, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but translation, is there almost a little bit of lack of confidence or kind of that imposter syndrome thing of like, would they really come here? Am I good enough? Yeah, she's shaking her head. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, Michaela, I don't think I have anything unique to offer. Yeah, that speaks to the value proposition thing, right? And for some of you today, although I'm going to just touch on the UVP and ideal agent stuff, that actually might be where you need to start. Different class, different day. Happy to meet with you one-on-one to help with that. We have exercises and worksheets for that. But again, today I'm going to focus more on the system portion. But you could leave here today saying, well, crap, before I could even get into the system, I need to identify and define my ideal who and what unique value I have to offer that person. Okay. Just putting that out there. So we could spend the next 45 minutes throwing things out here, but I think we can all agree, yes, it boils down to a lot of common denominators, whether it's time, confidence, clarity. Um, just don't like the word recruiting. I have a negative connotation that I've somehow labeled and attached to that word recruiting. No, I don't recruit. I don't want to recruit. Like Anthony said, all right. I mean, what call it? What do you want to call it then? Attracting? Okay, cool. At some point, you've still got to recruit the damn person. Okay. It's an intentional invitation and opening up of possibilities and opportunities worth exploring, right? If you don't like recruiting, then fine. Do you like helping agents learn more and uncover more about their business and how you can help them achieve more? Because a great recruiting appointment, that's actually what you're doing. It's not just verbally vomiting over them how wonderful your company is. It's actually a great recruiting appointment should be all about them, which means you're asking questions. We're going to dive into that today. Okay. Before we can go too far, I want to pull the arrow back. Now, we have this acronym at Locker Room. We use it for everything, you guys. It's KISS. It's not keep it simple, stupid. No, no, no. But I want you to start kissing everything. Careful. Don't misread me here. That got weird. No, take the acronym and help yourself pass this along to your agents. Example, if one of your agents has an open house this weekend, they should kiss that open house, right? This is like AAR, after action review for you military folks. We're studying the game film. What went right? What went wrong? What can I do differently next time? So on and so forth. The NFL draft, anybody that's sports fans, just took place, yeah? Not a couple weeks ago or so? What do you think the scouts, the coaches were doing all year on these players that they're going to invest a lot of money into? What were they doing in the war room? Studying game film, yeah? They're watching every play, every tackle, every block, everything under the microscopic lens, pausing, slow motion, watching game film. Why don't we do that? If the best of the best at their craft study game film, why don't we do that? Well, here's your formula. So I'm asking you, and you can write your answers down or marinate on this later. As it relates to recruiting, take the year to date, no more than the last 12 months, and ask yourself the K. As it relates to recruiting, what is it that I need to keep doing? That's the K. Keep doing. It's working. Don't stop. Acknowledge it. Heck, if anything, double down on it. There's something, even if you're not, crushing it, there's probably still find something you are doing that you just know you need to keep doing. The I stands for intentionality. So as it relates to recruiting, what do I need to be more intentional about? Success generally happens by the slightest of edge. It's not some major shift or major change. It's a small, seemingly sometimes insignificant pivot that makes all the difference in the world and leads you to your next breakthrough. What is that area of recruiting that you need to dial it up an extra degree of intentionality? The S, of course, stands for stop, the first S. As it relates to recruiting, what do you need to stop doing? Stop it. It's not working. Cut your losses. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, I need to stop procrastinating. I need to stop whatever. Fair answer. I'm reading your minds, aren't I? But I want you to go beneath that. What's the real answer? It's not time. Stop blaming time. Finally, the last S, of course, is start. This is where I got to lean in, man. No longer can I claim that I don't know what to do, this unconscious incompetence thing. No, you do know it. You're a leader. Okay. You're a leader of others. You're resourceful. And nobody's going to come save you. So guess what? It's up to you to figure it out. So what is it you need to start doing as it relates to the topic of recruiting? And maybe something you hear today is new. Maybe it's a reminder of something that you already knew but haven't implemented yet. So we'll see on that one. Okay. What do you need to start doing? Any questions so far in any of this? Doing all right? Let me check the waiting room. Make sure I don't have anybody waiting. Nope. Okay, we got everybody. All right. Let's keep moving then. I'm pulling the arrow back. I promise we're going to get to the 5 steps here, but we got to do some housekeeping first. So let's continue. Who do you need to become? I mean, each of these slides could be its own class for a different day, right? But before we go into strategy, systems, scripting, skill sets, do you believe, like I believe, that some of us, the answer actually lies with I need to become somebody, a different version of me than I currently am? A lot of us set goals of what we want to achieve. When's the last time you set a goal of who you need to become? What are you reading right now? What are you listening to right now? Who's your coach? What conference are you attending? What podcasts are you listening to? You catch my drift? Guys, how can I speak on this? Because I'm in the trenches with you, man. It is so easy to lose sight of who am I becoming because I'm too busy spinning every plate and just answering the you got a minute calls from everybody else. And by the end of the day, I'm depleted and I got nobody or nothing pouring into me. So I'm going to ask again, where are you being stretched? Who are you becoming? And that first question is going to tee us up for my next slide, but how are agents currently viewing you? Like that might be a gut punch if you're not, if you're like, get real. How do agents in your market currently view you? What is their perception of you? What is your reputation? When they think of you, what is that brand that they attach to you? Do you know? Could you find out? Right? How are you positioning yourself? Just like you probably coach and teach your agents, we cannot just contact our database of buyers and sellers, right? Saying, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Do you know anybody looking to buy sell? Do you know anybody looking to buy sell? What's going to happen? They're going to dodge you. They're going to unfollow you. They're going to avoid your calls. They're not going to respond to your texts. We know this. And yet, a lot of recruiters do the same damn thing. The only time that an agent hears from you might be when you ask if they want to meet up and explore making a change. You are conditioning them to avoid you. So, number two there is all about positioning power, right? You're in the paint, boxing out. How are you positioning? How are you integrating your leadership inside of their life, inside of their business, even when they claim they're happy where they're at? I'm going to answer that for you today, but I want you thinking about that. What problems do you solve? I won't look at anybody, but some of you, some of us, um, are just feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit. Well, we have this tech stack, we have this split, we have all these bells and whistles. Who freaking cares? Feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit. Your messaging might be incorrect when you actually need to speak in terms of problem solution, problem solution. Live a day in their life. What's keeping them awake at night? What pains, what frustrations, what stresses do they have? And then you swoop in like a superhero and you're the problem solver for it. Start talking, start making your Facebook posts and stuff about problem solution, not just feature benefit, feature benefit. Make sense? All right. Lastly, these are just things that for consideration today. If I get your wheels spinning, cool, I've done my job. How can you become the person that your ideal agent, hello, is most attracted to? What leadership? I'm telling you, and there's a lot of talking heads that may or may not agree. I really believe, though, guys, we have a leadership, I won't say problem, we have a leadership gap of our industry. A lot of agents don't leave because of splits and fees and lack of training. Somewhere along the way, they may feel disconnected, misaligned, or feel maybe even they've outgrown their current leader. And that's what makes them question, is this the right place for me? So who do you need to become that's so attractive? Your campfire is so big, so warm, that the ideal agent of yours comes from miles and miles away to sit around that campfire that you've built. Are you on fire about what you do? Or are you just limping along, going through the motions? All right. We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet, but are you guys doing all right out there? Any questions, comments, snide remarks? Snide remarks, just send them to Anthony Neeson. Okay, I'm just going to pick on him. Okay, all right, let's keep rolling then, everybody. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but just some, if you want to take a screenshot, or again, I'm going to send all this out to you. But I just to not leave you hanging on like the who do I need to become thing. These are some of the characteristics I believe makes you a rock star recruiter. Very quickly, authentic and transparent. You lead with value to open up a relationship. You master the art of asking great questions. Okay. A great recruiting appointment is a needs analysis. I wouldn't call it that, but that's really what it is. It's a consultation, right? You demonstrate active listening skills. What does that mean? Hopefully by now you know, but it can mean I'm mirror and matching their body language. I'm repeating back to them what I heard, confirming that. I'm asking deeper questions, actively listening, right? I think a rock star recruiter values the individual and sees them as whole and resourceful. That's from the book Coactive Coaching. If anybody's ever read that, great book. That's a philosophy. That's a mindset, man. The first time you see somebody, do you see them as broken and that they need fixed? Or do you see them as whole and resourceful and they have all of the intellectual property and emotional intelligence they need to figure out life and business themselves? It's just my job to ask the questions to pull that out of them. No right or wrong, but that's a belief system. That's a philosophy by which you might operate by. That's right, JR. I just saw your comment in the chat. Sorry. I think great recruiters set ego aside. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not even about your brokerage or your team. Keep it about them. Keep the relationship as the center. You got to be an effective communicator who can articulate value propositions. What do you want? What don't you want? AKA, what are your standards? Right? I promise you, top talent, cultural fits, really want to know and value standards, right? And then lastly, John Maxwell teaches this. How do we answer the three questions? John Maxwell says that whenever we meet somebody, consciously or subconsciously, they are checking off these three questions immediately. Does this person care about me? Can this person help me? And can I trust them? So we've got to work, leaders, to answer those questions. Not just yes, 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 of course. No, how? How's that being demonstrated? How would the other person, if I'm sitting across from you, how do I know that you care about me? If I'm sitting across from you, how I have confidence that you can help me? You've got to answer that. And then, of course, the trickiest one of all is trust. Whoo! Trust can take a long time to build and gone in an instant. Yeah. I'm going to give you a hack for all three, and then we got to move. I believe, from my experience at least, all three, or at least the one in the three, can be achieved by one single act, which is asking questions. I really believe that. I can demonstrate I care about you, and I can definitely give you the feeling, rightly so, of trust by asking questions and listening. But when I go into blah, blah, blah mode, it becomes all about me, and I'm just telling. The quickest way to build rapport with somebody is asking questions. Why? Quick coaching 101 class. I believe the person who's in control of the conversation is the one who's asking the most questions. A lot of people will say that, but very few will say, well, what does that mean for the other party involved? That means I think the person on the other end who's doing the most talking is doing the most bonding. Do I want an agent to bond with me? Yes or yes. Bonding is rapport. Rapport is trust. So if you want to expedite that third one, how do I build trust with somebody so fast? I think we go back to the fundamentals here and we ask questions, let them talk, and I'm actively listening. Okay. Here's the recruiting ladder. Now we're going to start getting into some more crunchy stuff here. Whoops. Just kidding. Oops. Good Lord. There it is. Okay. Check this out. Let's assume that every agent in your market, Every person you call, text, invite to something, by default, is going to see you as a recruiter. It is what it is. Sorry. Let's not necessarily try and tiptoe around this fact. Let's just meet them where they're at, you guys, and say, all right, maybe I am. So what? Big deal. You and I aren't so different. Is it such a bad thing that I thought enough of you to reach out to you today and see how I can help your business and maybe explore opportunity? Is that really such a slap in the face to you? Come on. Just like every day you reach out to potential buyers and sellers. Broski, we're both just doing our jobs here. We value growth. We value service. We value being in business with the right people. So yeah, so what? Maybe I am calling to recruit you. I don't know yet. You don't know yet. And if the answer is no, cool. If I'm for you, great. If not, that's okay too. Doesn't mean we still can't have a relationship, does it? So let's just assume, for the sake of example, everybody's going to see you as a recruiter. But we've got to listen beyond that for who they think we are. That's the holding up the mirror thing. So, and you have to go step by step, by the way. Step 2 is authentic and caring. We talked about that with John Maxwell's 3 questions, didn't we? So yeah, all right. So what? I am maybe trying to recruit you, but hey, that Jake guy, at least he cares. Like he's genuine. He's down to earth. He seems authentic. All right. Now we can start to open up a little bit. Still not enough, but at least we're gaining some momentum here. We have an actual relationship. But it's actually the third step, you guys. The third step, when they understand, okay, maybe he's trying to recruit me, whatever, but he's at least a decent dude or she's a decent person, you know. However, they're knowledgeable. They can help me. They have something that probably I could benefit from by meeting with them for 30 minutes. Step 3 is where they will agree to have an appointment with you. Trust me. So right now, if you're on this call and you are struggling getting appointments, stop. Analyze these first 3 steps. Which one do you need to be better at so that you can at least get to step 3 with somebody that they're willing to say yes to a meeting with you? Now, P.S., a meeting doesn't mean guns ablazing, I'm coming in hot, all about XYZ Realty. No, we're just going to meet up at the coffee shop and, talk about business, swap ideas of how we're getting listings in today's market. That's the meeting. Okay. Not tell me all about your company type meeting necessarily. Step 4, when they see you as their leader, they will join you. This is where they join your company, your team. Okay. Now we have a philosophy. I had a couple of them I'll share with you right now. Still to this day, by the way. 2 things. Number 1, as it relates to agents, philosophy was I'm going to be their leader until I am their leader. I'm going to be their leader until I am their leader. Well, what the hell does that mean? That means I'm going to love on them. I'm going to invite them to things. I'm going to send them tools, resources, whatever I need to help them build their business. So much so that one day they're going to wake up and say, dang, I get more from Jake than I do my own broker or my own team lead. You've won. You've won the game. You got to play the long game, but you've won the game. Okay. My other philosophy along that same line was my job is to stay in touch with you, the agent, or provide enough value to you, the agent, long enough until the day comes that your own broker or brokerage screws up, and I'm the first person you call. I'm going to haunt you. I'm going to be in your world. It's that positioning power, right? And I say that with a smile on my face because you can have fun with these folks. It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. But I'm going to stay in your world long enough, even 6 years down the road, until the day happens when you start to question things. Your broker said something or they pissed you off, and I'm the first person you think to call. Okay? Is this helping? Any questions on any of this so far? I'm going to get into the 5 steps. Okay. I assume not. Let's roll. So again, different class, different day. Here's just some questions. We have a whole exercise for this, but if this is you, yes, I want you to identify not just who you need to become, but what problems and unique solutions you provide, but who's the ideal who, right? If you're just recruiting new agents, by the way, I love new agents, nothing wrong with new agents, but that's the same person you're complaining about, don't have an infrastructure built for to support them, and so on and so on. You're misaligned. Something's off here. Maybe you're isn't just based on production, it's based on behavioral styles, cultural fits, right? There's just a list of some questions. One of my favorites on here, PS, is the non-negotiables, especially when you flip the coin. What non-negotiables or qualities, in other words, must they not have? In other words, make it a fill in the blank sentence. I will not recruit any agent, no matter how big a production they have, if they are blank. A jerk, like it doesn't matter, y'all. Like, no hire is worth it, no matter how much production they do, if their reputation or whatever precedes them is not a fit for you. So don't just say, oh, every great agent, a perfect agent is this, this, and this. Take a second and flip the coin around and say, but they may have all this, this, and this, but if they violate that, it's a no-go for me still. You with me? That is very, very important. Arrogance. Yes, Tanya. Last thing I'm going to say, because you can screenshot this or whatever. The second question is incredibly helpful, you guys, because we can float in la la land sometimes. I want you to think, is there an agent right now in your brokerage or your team that's coming to mind? It's like, man, have you ever caught yourself saying, if I just had 15 more people like Sandy, I'd be so happy, we'd be so good. If you're thinking of somebody right now, write their name down, because I want you to answer these questions and build your avatar off of them. What is it about them? Is it the way they smile and show up and engage? Is it their level of production? And I don't know. You can go a zillion directions of this. But out of all that, you might identify, listen, the people that I'm looking to attract and thrive in our environment, doesn't make it right or wrong, but it's our environment, are learning based. They're accountable. They volunteer in the community. They blah, 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 blah. You start to craft an ideal who. Now you got something to go off of, right? Versus just, I don't know, winging it. Does anybody here feel pretty locked in that they have an agent avatar? I'm just curious. Like, do you have real dialed in clarity of who it is that you attract and who it is you repel? Beverly, yeah. I believe that. Beverly's firm on standards. I've always loved that about her. Yep. It's a huge opportunity, guys. And by the way, made up number, but I would project 90 plus some odd percent of brokers and team leads don't do this. So if you're willing to do this, guess what? Advantage. Immediate advantage. Okay. And there's a sticky factor because you're building it around something with a group of people who are on a mission and value the same things. Yeah. Yeah, we can't save them all, JR. Whew. I get it. Okay. Let's get real. All right. Roll up your sleeves, everybody. Whew. Stretch it out. Here we go. 5 steps. That's what you came here for. I get it. But I couldn't, man. I can't get here until we tackle some of that other stuff. So, number 1, attract. Number 2, qualify. Number 3, present. Number 4, propose. Number 5, close. Those are 5 steps, but have no fear. We're going to break them down. All right. Quick backstory. Where this came from is because in a previous life, the owner would meet with me every Friday, and I had to bring my recruiting pipeline to meet with this owner and talk about. When she would ask me, all right, Jake, how many 10s and 9s and 8s and 7s do you have? It was so ambiguous. I'm like, well, what the hell does a 10 mean? What's the difference between a 6 and a 7? I found myself just guessing and kind of BSing my way through the conversation of this ranking scale. Okay. I don't know. Angie Hansen, she's a 7. Yeah, no, she's a 7. Well, what does a 7 mean, Jake? And BS answer. Just got to make the big boss person happy. Okay. So that was not serving me, nor her, nor the organization. So I came up with this. This is like sales 101 process, but hear me out. Now that there's an actual defined system and meaning to each number, I can speak with authority saying, hey, listen, if we go through this pipeline tool again, Joe Smith, yeah, Joe's a 3. And instantly we knew what that meant. I've attracted Joe. I've qualified Joe. I've even presented our value with Joe. But now we're kind of in that weird phase. I haven't made a proposal to Joe yet of how we can work together, what his split would be, what the transition plan would look like to go from XYZ over to us. So now we were able to define the steps, which then I can go through that pipeline tool and say, all right, Joe's at a 3. What's it going to take to get Joe from a 3 to a 4? What needs to happen next? And one by one, on down the list, we would do that. So helpful. Took all this extra stuff in my mind, all the BS, all the excuses, and we just systematized it to what matters most. So let's look at these together. Number 1 is the biggest one that I'm going to spend the most time on. So number 1 is attract. The goal here is to attract agents by letting them experience, very key word here, your leadership. I want to know, what are you putting out there that agents can consume? It's drawing them in. It's creating closer proximity. Does proximity matter? Yes or yes? Yes, it does. And I'll prove to you that proximity carries a premium. Because as a Chicago Bears fan, otherwise my dad would disown me. Don't hold that against me. If I wanted to go to a Chicago Bears game,
Boo.
yeah, okay, cheeseheads,
Boo.
get out of here. If I if I wanted to go to a Bears game and I bought a ticket on the 50-yard line front row, how much do you think that would cost me? Like, I have no idea, but it's going to cost me some money, right? Thousands. Okay, I could do that. I'm front row seat to the game. Or I could watch that same game on my couch eating Cheetos, not sitting in traffic, for free. Same game. What changed? Proximity. Proximity to things matters. It carries a premium. So how are agents gaining proximity to you so they can experience you? Not just tell them, show them, let them take it in. And all of this is demonstrated right here. This is the biggest piece of today. If you take nothing else away, maybe this is it. I don't know. So how many of you, well, I guess it's come back, but it's inverted, are familiar with the food pyramid, the old school food pyramid, right? Okay. So years ago, I had my appendix taken out, and holy smokes, TMI maybe, but that is some painful stuff. If you've ever been through that, wow, that hurt. So anywho, I'm sitting, true story, by the way, laid up in the hospital recovering, and maybe it was the medicine or something they had me on. You know what I'm saying? I'm scrolling through my phone, and something shows up on my news feed or whatever of the food pyramid. I'm like, ooh, I'm a sucker for a good model. This is how my brain works, by the way. How can I take that model and make it into something for leaders, for real estate, especially around the topic of recruiting? Voila, here it is. So follow my logic. The food pyramid, it's not enough for me to know what to eat, what to consume, the frequency, how much of each item I'm supposed to eat. It's not enough, is it? The awareness? No. I have to actually put it in my body, consume it, in order to live a healthy, prosperous lifestyle. Agreed? Like 101 level here. Okay. So translation, it is not enough as it relates to recruiting to tell people how great you are, how amazing your team and brokerage is. It's not enough. So now, how do we get them to consume that for themselves to experience it. Let me ask you this random question. Can anybody on here, maybe this is the first group, explain to me what a banana tastes like? Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you explain to me what a banana tastes like? If I had never eaten a banana before in my life, it's like, it's impossible. It's not like, oh, it tastes like chicken. No, 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 no. It's just this like completely unlike anything other taste. That's your leadership. That's your brokerage. That's your team. That's your unique value proposition. Guys, stop trying to tell people. It's impossible. They'll never understand it the way you understand it because they haven't lived it. They haven't experienced it. I will only ever understand what a banana tastes like by putting the damn thing in my mouth and trying it for myself. In other words, I will never, ever understand how amazing your brokerage is, how incredible your leadership is, unless I experience it for myself. Are we on the same page? All right.
Why is this reminding me of the Savannah Bananas for some reason?
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. Same thing. You'll never know what it's like to go to a Savannah Bananas game because it's such an experience
You
itself
have to
unless you just go.
experience it. Yeah,
You
but
have
I
to
mean,
experience.
think about what they've created in that experience.
Oh,
Like
that's
you
it.
got to get in there and live it, and they do a good job of sharing it. Anyway,
Yeah. No, you're spot on. Great. Great example. And last thing, and then we're going to show you how to construct your own version of this. I try to live by this. I'm not always perfect, but what people want, what they need are two different things. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes we just got to bite the bullet. Give people what they want to draw them in, to attract them into you, and then smack them across the face with what they need. A lot of us are trying to smack them like, no, just listen to me. You'd be better off here. You'd make more money here. Like smack, 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 smack. And sometimes we just need to chill out, give them what they want, let them consume it, let them try it, let them experience it for themselves, and then we can smack them across the face with what we know they need. Okay. So this is like you chumming the waters. So here we go. Here's what I want you to do. You don't have to follow my thing here, but just hear me out. And I would strongly suggest there is a method to the madness here. Okay. There's a method to the madness, starting with the base. The base in this attraction, or what you hear me say, consumption model, represents the most available, most easy to consume, right? The most frequent offering that you're putting out there for me. However, the switch cost is it's also the least effective in terms of like conversion. But we're going to stack, we're going to layer all these together, and you're going to go deploy this. So in my case, I always start with social media. So if social media, you would fill in your own blank space. Well, what does that mean? These are some just very generic ideas, okay? I could friend request and then engage in the comments of those that I seek to attract, that list of ideal agents. Your social media is better than your CRM. It serves the same purpose, doesn't it? Top of mind. Daily posts, DMs. I could create a local Facebook group. I could put now hiring posts if you want to go direct. Lifestyling, like just showcasing a day in the life of. Flip that camera around. Give a little tour of your office. Or hey agents, we're getting ready to start our team meeting here. Look at this place. It's jam-packed full. Today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. That's what I'm talking about. Breadcrumb, breadcrumb, breadcrumb. Let them consume and be a voyeur of yours on social media first. Any questions on that? Most available, most frequent, easiest to consume, but the trade-off is it's the least effective. But you'll see as we go up the food chain, it becomes lesser and lesser available, lesser and lesser consumable. However, much higher rate of conversion. So let's keep going. The next category up from that would be video. And yes, there's some crossover, but video. Has anybody on here ever consumed something of mine before prior to this? A lot of you have. And whether we've ever met in person or not, I'll bet if we've, like, even right now, we're kind of bonding. We're kind of building rapport. You might hate me, but at least you know me. I don't know if my style's not for you, but you can't tell me that going to video doesn't carry a higher premium to draw you closer and closer and closer in. Now you can see my mannerisms, hear my voice fluctuations, consume the tips and tricks that I have to share with you, which brings you over to here. Well, Jake, what could I do? Some of you already do this. You could have a YouTube channel. The agents are consuming content that you put out there open to the public. Of course, social media, you might have a whole business series. Hey guys, it's Motivation Monday again. Here's your mindset tip for the week. Blah, 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 blah. You're creating a following. You're being their leader and tell you what? Oh, that's right, are their leader. You could do hype videos. You could do agent or vendor interviews. There's gobs of ideas of what you could do with video. But the point is, if you've consumed my Facebook posts, for example, and now I email you or post something on video, I'm reeling you in. I'm reeling you in a little bit closer, a little bit closer. And that's the point. Let them experience it. Third, publish content. In this, what do I mean? I'm talking things like podcasts. To me, that's a form of publishing. Blogs, workbooks, resources, books, e-magazines, top agent newsletters, anything that you produce. Again, as we go up, it's less available, but carries more weight with it. Because I'm telling you, if you create, and by the way, with AI, good Lord, you can do it in a second. Hey guys, comment time below in the comment section if you want my 5-page time blocking guide or top 5 tips for time blocking. What, I'm making this up. You get what I'm doing though? You and I fall for it. Put your email in the comments so I can send you my notes from the conference. Dude, they're lead generating you. They're putting you in their database. You know it and I know it, and yet we still do it because I want the thing. Give me the resource. What are you doing? And by the way, you're creating this entire thing with your ideal agent in mind. What does your ideal agent want to consume? And you're like, here you go. Here you go. Fourth, less and less available trainings and events. But man, now if you're at a team meeting of ours, or I invite you to go with me to Tony Robbins' UPW event, or guess what, guys? I'm not ashamed. Y'all are here. I hope you leave value. Do you not think you're part of my consumption model? Hello. Of course you are. It's cool if we never do business with each other. I'm going to keep bringing it. Whatever. But trainings, events, let them see you in your natural habitat. Let them see you in action. And I promise you, ooh, if they like it, that will accelerate your growth and potential of bringing that person on as long as you want them. What do you think the last one is? Yep, you guessed it. One-on-ones. What can I do for one-on-ones? You could offer free coaching, goal setting, business audits, whatever. But again, you only have so much time. This is a capacity issue. So like I mentioned, the hierarchy is from bottom to top, least, most available, most easy to consume, but least effective, all the way up to least available, but highest energy or highest conversion rate, if you will. Now imagine having your own one of these completed and you're ready to deploy it. And if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, because I have ESPN, I can feel it, somebody out there. I want you to keep this so simple, stupid, okay? I am not suggesting you have to be the one responsible for all of this. Some of you have teams, admins, virtual assistants, AI, automations. Cool. Leverage as much of these bottom 3 as you can. Your job is to make sure it gets done. It's not necessarily your job to be the one doing it. Just want to point that out. However, I do firmly believe you should not leverage these top 2. It's too close, too much proximity. You're the star of the show. Does that make sense? Any questions on what I just said there? Because if this is like, whoa, how am I going to pull all this off? Chill. We start with one, then we move to the next and we layer. But I'm also saying you don't have to be the one. You can assign the who to say, hey, Billy Bob, my admin person, I want you to do X, Y, and Z for me, put it on autopilot. Cool. Just let me know when you need something else, kind of thing. I use AI all the time for this, where I tell it to I could take this video, upload it into Notebook LM or any of these AI platforms and say, I want you to create me a 12-part video series that each video is 60 seconds or less. I want it to include a hook, a body, like what's the point, and then a call to action. Go. The videos you've seen me, if you've been following me, it's me. I'm not using like HeyGen or anything like that. Like it's really me talking, but I leveraged AI to make these 60-second or less things with a hook, a body, and a call to action. All right. That was just number one. Now number two. We'll go quick. I know we're pushing time. Step two is qualify. Now that I've attracted you into my world, I need to qualify you. Just like a buyer, we got to get the buyer qualified. The goal here, however, is to gather information by asking questions. Now that I've drawn you in, now I got to get more personal and start asking you questions. This is not a pitch. We're listening. Hey, what do you love about your current brokerage? What are you most excited about right now? If you could change one thing about your business, what would it be? Right? These are just some sample questions for you. It can be done over text, DM, better yet, in person. The point is, I'm qualifying you without you know I'm qualifying you to see, are we even a match? Do we align? Are our values and beliefs aligned? Does what you say you're struggling with mirror my unique value proposition that I know I can authentically help you? That's all qualifying. And here I either say, we're not a match, or if we are, then I continue proceeding towards step three. Okay. Now, very important note here at the very top. And by the way, if I go 5 minutes over, I probably will. Let's stay on. If you need to hop off, I understand. But this is extremely important. Please, 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 please hear this. Your temptation and mine, when I finally have this other individual sharing information with me, again, the goal is to gather intel. The temptation is this, because you care, because you have a huge heart. When Anthony says, Jake, hey, I'm really struggling, man, with work-life balance right now. Someone like me that hears that, I just want to sink my teeth into it right now. Say, Anthony, I got you. Have you tried this? Oh, I got something for that. Blah, 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 blah. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Resist the urge. Don't go into fix-it mode yet. Because fix-it mode or sales pitch mode can feel the same way to the candidate, and they start to retract from you. Let it simmer in the crock pot, ask more questions, rub salt in the wound, whatever, and just let it simmer. Do not go into fix-it mode. Does that make sense? This is big, okay? This is where a lot of people jack it up. And they jack it up because you care. Okay. Oops. Third, now that I've qualified you and I'm green light, go, man. I think you're my people. Now we're at present. The goal here is to demonstrate your value, build authority, and create confidence in the other person about you. That's the goal here. Now, can these happen all in one meeting? Of course. I don't want you walking away saying, oh, I've got to go 5 meetings deep with a person. No, man. This could happen in a very natural flow. I just need your brain to recognize, where am I? What step am I at with this person? Don't skip a step. This is where you can give them an experience, offer trainings, whatever the case may be. Demonstrate. This is your consumption model. Let them feast off of something of yours that you have so they can experience it right there, or relatively soon at least. Okay. Now here is another pro tip I have for you. Very, very important. This is what I call the invitation cycle. I have I had a reputation in Garner, North Carolina. Well, that Jake guy is very persistent. And they didn't say it in an ugly, like nasty way, like salesy, gross way. No. In fact, a lot of them said it with a smile on their face. I had fun with them. And here's why. Remember my philosophy I shared earlier? I'm going to be your leader until I am your leader. I'm going to value you to death until your own broker screws up that, hey, I'm your first choice. This is what I did, guys. Train yourself. If let's take June. So right now you're probably publishing your June training calendars. I want you to start conditioning yourself to look at the June training calendar and say, what do we got coming up in June? And then if you've got an AI class, a time management class, and a lead gen class, I'm going to go to my pipeline, sort it by everybody who told me at the qualification stage that they had struggles with time management, AI, or lead gen. And what do you think Uncle Jake's going to do? Ring, ring. Hey, Eric, it's Jake. Listen, man. Hey, remember about 45 days ago when you and I met? Yeah. Dude, you shared with me at that time that work-life balance was the thing that was kind of like just keeping you awake at night. Remember that? Yeah, Jake, I remember that. Eric, you're not going to believe this, man. Next month in June, on the 17th, we have a class all about that. I immediately thought of you. I would love for you to be my guest. I know you're going to get a lot out of it. Can you make it? Y'all, I'm not exaggerating. That was my recruiting. I recruited cappers, 50 to $70 million mega agent teams with this. I am not joking. It's called invitation cycle. Your pipeline is going to get bottlenecked at a bunch of twos and threes. Twos and threes. Invitation cycle, invitation cycle, invitation cycle. Every month, I'm calling on my list of people in the pipeline who are stuck, and I'm inviting them to something. Who's going to get mad at that? Oh, pretty please stop calling me about the very thing I told you I wanted help with? Yeah, right. It was hilarious. Sometimes some of these I would call them, it'd be ring ring, and Eric answers his phone like, all right, Jake, what are you inviting me to now, man? Like, we would have fun. I would just completely disarm these people. And nothing about that felt gross or slimy and salesy. In fact, I really looked forward to recruiting. Is that weird to say? Because of the approach, which was so freaking different from every other broker on the planet who's only calling them about caps and splits and shares and whatever the flavor of the month is. I'm telling y'all, if you just do this, your recruiting, your conversion rates will skyrocket. But divert attention real quick. I'm going to send this to you. It's not fancy, an Excel spreadsheet for God's sakes. You can do what you want with it or not, or put it your own version in CRM. Doesn't matter. First name, last name, phone, email, date of first contact, simple stuff. Here we go. What step are they? 1 through 5. Now that we have steps defined, I can sort that column and see all my 2s, all my 3s, all my 4s. And oopsie daisies, column H, greatest challenge. So what do you think Captain Obvious does? I see my upcoming training calendar. I sort it. And anybody with a pain that's attached to my training calendar is getting an invite. Rinse, repeat every month. Takes care of your follow-up. Keeps you relevant to the person. And it certainly makes you their leader until you are their leader. All good, Beverly. Thanks for jumping on here. I'll send out the recording. Don't worry. Does that make sense, guys? And by the way, when I send this out, this other tab, just so you know, I got you. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Summarizes these 5 steps that I'm going over today. Okay. So that's on that tab next to the pipeline tab. Let's go back to here. I'm almost done, I promise. Okay. So that's present phase. If we're a green light go, you guys know the drill. Now it's propose. Goal here is all about exploration, invitation, opening up the possibilities and pathways of what it looks like for us to work together. Now it just got serious. Both parties now know, hey, we're talking about what it's going to look like or what that transition plan looks like for me to come over. Now we're not like wooing each other. We're talking business. All right. That's what that is. Then the fifth one is next steps or close. Where am I at with that person? Very important. This is where you, steps 4 and 5 have directional language. Okay. Hey, based on what I heard, here's what I would recommend. Here's what I think we should do next. Or just like a doctor, when you're freaking out and you're wondering, is your arm going to fall off? Doctors are incredible at this. Jake, here's what's wrong. And here's what's going to happen next. That gives me a sense of peace and comfort that Doc has this under control. This isn't his first rodeo, and I'm going to be fine. Your agent that you're recruiting and courting needs that same reassurance that this ain't your first time. You got it under control because they're at a peak state of emotion right here. This is where they start to second guess or have a little remorse or whatever could be going on. Your job is to calm that. And this note down here is so important. I don't want to miss this. If they show signs of second guessing or wobbling here, here's a script or a set of language I would use. Hey, agent. And this is like dummy tee up question. What do you do for a living? Well, Jake, I work with buyers and sellers. I sell real estate. That's right. That's right. What I hear you saying is you help people move. You help people make significant transitions in their life. And oftentimes it's about managing emotion at a peak state. Would you agree? Yeah, I would, Jake. Interesting. See, agent, I do the same thing. You and I are not different at all. It's just now I help agents like you make a move and find their new home. This is what I do every day for a living, just like what you do every day with buyers and sellers. So I got you. Here's the plan. Here's the transition. Here's whatever. Let me introduce you to our agent concierge who's going to handle everything at your transition. Are you guys getting what I'm doing here? I'm drawing the parallel so they see, oh, yeah, well, when you put it that way, and it's more often than not, it would smooth it over so we could continue proceeding and get their license over. Hope that made sense. All right, so that's 5. I got 2 more slides, then we're done, or I'll take any questions. Final takeaways. Be visible, be valuable, be consistent. The best agents aren't always looking, but they are always listening or watching. Don't think that they're not. Build relationships, not just pipelines. Recruiting never stops, it compounds. And simplicity scales, complexity fails. Keep this simple. That spreadsheet, there's nothing fancy about it, right? So what? Then I'll use it, right? Not just collect a bunch of names and information, never to look at again. So here, if anybody wants help, this isn't like a gotcha thing. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I mean this. If you need help or you have lingering questions, scan this. I will include my link in the follow-up email as well. If anybody wants to grab 30 minutes or whatever on my calendar, there you go. Take advantage of it because I know this is a lot of information, especially if you start building out your consumption model and you want a second set of eyes on that. Let me know. Happy to do it. And at the very bottom there, I will include this in the email as well, that on May 27th, like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing another one of these, but it's a different topic, all about how do we get our agents engaging, implementing the things that we teach them, because that is a big sticking point for so many of us. And we're going to get to the root of human behavior, give you a couple models and different hacks on that, and give you a very simple outline that you can take to all of your agents to create belief that every single one of them should and could be earning 6 figures. Like, no joke. So that's what the 27th training is going to be about. All right. How do we do, everybody? I know some had to jump off. Did you guys get value from this? Any questions, comments before we wrap?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, this was great information, Jake. Thanks so much.
You are welcome, Gina. Thank you.
It was great as always, Jake.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you. You're doing a great job with this. All right. Well, if anybody needs anything, you know how to get me. Be on the lookout for a follow-up email, replay, all the extra information I put out there so it's all in one spot. Cool? All right.
Thanks, Jake.
Appreciate
Go
it.
recruit them. You got it,
Very
guys.
See you
All
soon.
right.
Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir.
Go-
Thank you. You
Go
too.
eat a banana.
Go Bears.
Who dat? Go Saints.
Yeah. See you guys.